Hi everyone, this is Ocean Spirit Tarot. Got 4 of Pentacles at the bottom. Today, just going to do a read, see what's in the energy. I feel a very flat energy. Yeah. Hermit. Exactly how I sort of feeling the energy is at the moment. I've just, yeah, woke up and everything just, I don't know, it feels different. Like you're questioning things. There's something. Seven of Wands. Yeah, fighting back feelings. Something has bring back up from the past, and you might be analysing things a little bit, trying to understand it. Yeah. Things you've found out from the past. Past relationship. Past friends. Something from the past that really made you question yourself. Things were hidden from you. You didn't see everything. But you got the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom as well. Someone's come back through. I feel like being more honest. Gave you a lot of clarity on things that went on back then, maybe when you were together. Yeah, it's kind of made you question things. As much as I feel like you're happy for the clarity and you're happy to it's gave you a little bit more healing, a little bit more understanding. Because for a long time, it kept you up in your head. You questioned things. Questioned what you'd done wrong. Maybe why you weren't good enough. It definitely was an internal battle. You didn't have all the answers. You kind of were just left. And left questioning things. It definitely was a lot of rocky emotions, but as well. And still, I feel like that's still happening in the background. If this past person's come back through, like I say, a lot of them divine masculines have gone through a lot of hurt, like they've been shown their patterns of what they've done their entire life when it comes to avoiding like their emotions and avoiding their feelings. And that's where I get a lot as well, like you see in the Moon card, like all the emotions in the background, that rockiness, but keeping it hidden down, like keeping it hidden, keeping things surface level, not really expressing things. But then you see it as well, like in the background here too, like that just roller coaster of emotions. And look at that Nine of Pentacles just keeps showing. Oh wow, now the Lovers at the bottom. This was a really strong connection. Really strong. And look, trying to come through, trying to offer. I feel like whatever they've been through since you haven't been together has really rocked them. Has really shaken everything up within their life. They've had a lot of realizations. And if they've come through, like, I feel like a lot of them have, but then a lot of them haven't. I think they will. If they haven't yet, they will. But if they have, I feel like they're starting to change. They're starting to realize sort of who you were to them, and as much as they probably don't understand their feelings, because a lot of the divine masculines have never really felt before. They've kept any kind of feelings that they've ever had, like, hidden, avoided them, distracted themselves from any type of feelings that they've ever had throughout their whole life. And I done a divine masculine reading, and it sort of, and I've been pulling on that for doing readings on that for weeks, months, trying to sort of have a bit of an understanding. And a lot of them had an upbringing that wasn't a normal upbringing. There was no nurturing, no love, no expressing feelings. And if they did, I think they got punished for it, you know. There was a lot of manipulation. Like, there was just, they learned from a young age to not feel and to avoid any kind of feeling that they ever had. But you come along, and I think you cracked their heart chakra open. You showed them that it's okay to be vulnerable. I think you showed them their patterns too. Because look, lovers. It was a really, really strong connection. And they ran from it. They avoided it. But they always still kept their eye. Whether they watched, whether they just constantly thought about you, whether there was an emotional tie, like, that was still always there. You left an imprint on them that they could never get rid of. Doesn't matter how much time went past, what relationships they jumped into. Nothing ever really felt the same as how it did with you. Because the Emperor, she's nurturing, she looks after herself, but she cares as well, and she's just genuine and gives that genuine love. And I think that's something that they could never really understand, because they've never had that. Look at that Nine of Pentacles. They see you very independent, very beautiful, very in your power. You don't answer to anyone. You take life by the horns and you just take it on, and you experience everything in life. Like, you're not scared to be vulnerable either, and to show emotion or to give emotion. And I think this is something that this divine masculine could, he didn't, I think it scared him. Whoa. Ace of Wands. New ignited passion. Because then we've got the Star as well. And that's healing. Destiny. I think past traumas, past things that this person went through within their life, I think you really healed things. Or you could have. But I think as much as you put into it and tried to put into it, the more that they would run. Because they were scared. But they're coming in slowly. trying to show you that they've changed. Trying to do things different. Because they know that they can't do the same thing as what they've done before. I think whatever's going on in their life, has taken everything, you know, their whole life has been sort of torn away, ripped apart. And they know that they can't come in towards you like that. That gives them the anxiety. Maybe whatever they've got going on is what's giving them the anxiety. Maybe it's, look, King of Truth, trying to stay logic, trying to understand. But I feel like a lot of this is you, but as well, like, you're getting a lot of truth. Like, they're speaking a lot of truth. They're coming through. You can see the change in them. But at the same time, I feel like whatever they've, you know, jumped into a new relationship, whatever they've done, you're kind of second guessing it now of what you meant to them. Did you look into it more? Did you feel more than what they did? And the biggest question that I keep getting, that keeps coming around and around, is I'm trying to think of how to say it. You gave them a lot. You gave support, you gave love, you really cared. But they seem to run from that and jump into relationships that they had to fix the person, or relationships that they would take advantage of them and leave them hurt. And I think that's the biggest question that you have is, why would you run from something that's so genuine? Someone that genuinely cared about them. Why would you choose someone or something over that? Why would you run from that? I feel like that's your biggest question at the moment, if they've come in and they've started being honest. And they've started to open up. Because I think you've always expected the honesty. Because an Empress is honest. And they expect the same. The Empress gives respect, but expects it back too. The Empress will do anything. But when you realize that you're not getting it back is when then you pull back your energy. Because the Empress doesn't get taken advantage of. But this connection is really strong. And I feel as though that was the biggest problem with the masculine. They didn't have the tools, they didn't have the understanding of how to control how they felt. How to treat you properly. Ten of Swords, Nine of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. They know that they can't do things the same. They know that things have to change. And that's why they're rushing in with a lot of communication, a lot of truthful communication. A lot of passion too. I don't feel like they want to lose you. Look, because they want to give equal give and take. They know they messed up. Whatever's happened to them in their life since you've been gone has gave them a lot of really gave them a lot of clarity and made them really see what you done and how they didn't give that equal give and take. And look, love has come back again. Gives them a lot of anxiety. Keeps them up at night. A lot of regret for what they've done in the past. How things could have been different. Their life could have been different if they had taken your connection more seriously. Had to let themselves be vulnerable. Had to treated you better. Look, 9 of Cups. I think you were always their wish fulfillment. You were always someone that they, you know, that they had wished for, that they had want. You know, they always looked for someone that was like you. But when they were faced with it, they weren't emotionally equipped to understand their feelings, to give that emotion, give that equal give and take. So it used to keep him so, I think they were just, they feared such a deep connection. They couldn't understand the strong pull. Yeah. Whatever's happened in their life has left them broken. And I feel like they feel like you can help. Feel like you can help. Feel like... No, I sort of feel like you're their emotional safety. You're the one that they always could come to. You regulated their nervous system without them probably realising. Probably in the past when you were together, there when shit hit the fan and they always talked to you, they always came to you, they would settle. They would calm. They were able to get clarity on things. Because I feel like you genuinely cared and wanted to help this person. You had genuine love for them. There was a Page of Wands at the bottom. I think they were just very immature. Which is why when such a strong connection, as much as they asked for it and wanted something like that, little Page of Wands come back. They ran from it. They're wanting a new beginning. A new start. But I feel like you're questioning things. Are they as much as you see the change? Or you're going to see the change in them? Are they going to be able to keep that up? Do they really want it that? Moving away from choppy waters, from chaos. Want to come in more stable, more protective, more, not bring chaos with them, more stable, because you got the Two of Cups. And we kept on getting the Lovers at the bottom, and that is a soul connection, past life connection, strong. Look, King of Wands. I think that's your biggest fear, is if they're able to change. Are they gonna, once they start to stabilize, their life starts to go well again? Every time things get hard, are they going to run and find the next best thing, the next thing for them to avoid how they really feel? Yeah, they want to come through with victory. They want to come out on top. You got Seven of Cups at the bottom. That's that options, that insecurity, that avoidance, fear. They look still at the bottom. I'm going to change up. I want to know if... And we've got Strength at the bottom. I want to know if they actually... are genuine. Are they genuine? What do they really want? Do they really want the change? Look, and you want to know that too. You're happy for the truth. You want the clarity. You want the truth. And it probably brings a lot of healing. But as well, I don't think you're wanting to go back to how things were in the past. I don't think you're wanting to go... I don't think this person really realizes how heartbroken you were. How much it really... how much they really hurt you. Look, Queen of Wands. They see it magnetic. They look magnetic, beautiful, passionate, fiery, but as well they see that nurturing, that love, that beautiful connection, that softness. They see it as very truthful. So we want to know, are they, how... Are they just going to come back because their life's a mess and expect you to clean it up and then off they go? Or are they actually genuinely wanting change in their life? Because I feel like that's a big question. Like, if someone's been like that their entire life, you would question whether they're actually... I think they do too, if they're actually able to sustain something long term. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, slow moving but stable. Trying to stay in control of things. Trying to keep an eye. And you got the Eight of Wands. That's that communication. But as well, it's... yeah, I feel like it's equal give and take. Equal, you know, they're wanting to talk. They're wanting to be open. They're wanting to be genuine. I think they see you as their person. I think they've always seen that. Just that they were too scared really to admit it. They're not wanting to come in chaotic, but they're not wanting to come in fast. See, they've been thinking a lot. I think they've been thinking about this for a long time. I think maybe at one point they thought they'd lost you for good. At one point they thought they would never get that chance again. And that they messed it up. I think that is what's making them know that they've got to change. They've got to do things different. Because look, they definitely see you as stable. As in control. And they want to be the same. They want to do that. But, you know, at the same time, we've got a lot of pentacles on the bloody table. Yeah, look, they've always kept you... you've always been on their mind. They've always kept an eye. Alright, you got the King of Swords, the Chariot, and the Magician. You're definitely someone that they always wanted. They didn't actually think that there was... maybe they just never really realised that there was women around that were as stable and nurturing and weren't that toxic, manipulating kind of thing. Maybe they were just surrounded by women like that their entire life. And as much as that's not what they wanted, they manifested something, because that's what I feel of the Magician. Like, they wanted a connection like this, but they never really expected that they would get it. They wanted someone stable, someone beautiful, someone nurturing, someone that they could have a life with, that they didn't have to worry about what they were up to or what they were doing. Someone that didn't bring chaos into their life, someone that they didn't have to fix. They know that they stayed too logic about things before. They tried to stay too in control of their feelings. The Chariot's moving, and the Chariot's moving fast. The biggest fear is messing things up, for things to go back to how it was in the past, to leave things, to not be able to be emotionally open. That's the one thing, and when they think about the connection and how strong that it is, it's the one thing that keeps them paralyzed. But they're definitely looking out, like they want that new beginning. And look, then Two of Cups. So underneath all that fear and that anxiety and wanting change and wanting to move and trying to become more stable within their life. The underlying thing of it all is the Two of Cups, is your connection. They're in two minds. They know that you bring healing to them. They know how strong the connection is. They know that they're attracted. They know that you are what they want. But they're scared of actual commitment with someone that is as stable as what you are. They're trying to follow your lead. But they're worried about not being able to maybe live up to what you expect. They know they want the connection. They can feel it. Wow. Since you I feel like their whole life has been chaotic. One toxic person after another, one manipulating person after another. And I feel like they really tried to move on after you. They thought that it was gone, it was lost. And all they got met with was one heartbreak after another. And I feel like wow. They were shown. They were showing the difference between two different connections, between the people they keep choosing and your connection. That's the Six of Cups. That's that soul connection. That's that memory. That was imprinted in them the entire time. That's why they constantly kept circling back to you all the time. They jumped into something they jumped into something to avoid how they felt. And they ran from a genuine, good, stable, loving connection. And they ran straight into a connection that they put their all into, and it left them like that. And look, it was their karma. I feel like the universe showed them, do you want to keep repeating the same patterns as what you've repeated your entire life? Is this what you want to keep doing? And they've been left broken. But you constantly, amongst all this is how they felt like when it come to you and the connection that they had with you. That long-term, that loving, nurturing connection. You're the one person that ever made them feel loved, that ever really cared. And they ruined it. They didn't take it seriously. You were innocent, you were playful, you had a lot of fun together, you had such a strong bond. That attraction was there. But they just didn't give They just didn't give to it. They were scared. And they ran off and tried to, yeah, they ran off into a relationship that is the shadow side of the Queen of Wands, that gives you that passion and distracts with sexual desire, and that, you know, sort of draws you in but manipulates. And manipulation isn't always straight in front of your face either. They took everything from him. Wow. And at the end of the day, your connection is what they keep coming back to. You're who they keep coming back to. I feel like they've finally seen their patterns. They've finally seen what they do. They've finally seen the people that they choose, the women that they choose, the men that they choose. And they really want to change that. I think, like I say, this, at the moment within this year, it has been, and look, the Two of Cups just got picked up with the Witches. This connection is so strong. Because look, we've got the Two of Cups, Two of Cups. This connection is so strong that they can't run from it. You were there as a catalyst to wake them up, make them realize, make them see their life choices and what they choose. And I think as much as you had so much love for this person, I think you would have done anything for them. You genuinely cared and gave to this connection. And as much as there might have been fighting and, you know, chaos, a lot of that's what they bring to the connection. Because that's what they were used to. And I think they see that now. I don't think they wanted to. I don't think they would have seen it until it's taken, I think, like, you know, we've had a massive timeline shift. There's a lot of people waking up. There's a lot of things going on at the moment, and I feel as though a lot of the divine masculines are really waking up, and I don't think they ever would have really changed. But the universe had had enough. It was time for them to sit in it. To sit in their feelings and to look at it. To look at the connection, to look at you, to look at everyone around them. Yeah, Tower come down and shook up everything in their life, and they couldn't avoid their feelings anymore. Everyone, anything that they used to distract didn't work anymore. Very interesting. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there for you guys. I hope that helps, and I'll see you next time.